Hey guys, welcome back to another video. If you're new to my channel, hi, my name is Miranda and I teach about everything related to the trucking industry and how to navigate it. So if this is a topic that interests you, feel free to subscribe down below. So I know I released a video about a month ago about what to expect for the rest of 2022 in the trucking industry, but as the conditions change, so do the predictions. Today we're going to be focusing on the peak season, the holidays, which usually bring with it higher spot market rates. The real question is, will there be a peak holiday season in 2022? Ready? Let's go! So before we actually dive into answering the question of the 2022 holiday peak season, let's look at what actually causes the holiday trucking frenzy. Usually consumers, aka you, start preparing for the holidays by spending some serious cash on food, decorations, gifts, and so on. Retailers know that there will be an increased consumer demand during the holiday season, so they start placing their orders with manufacturers and shippers to stock up on items that they deem will be flying off the shelves like hotcakes. And who transports all those goods from the manufacturer to the retailer? Trucks. So with the holiday deadlines approaching, there is an increased need for trucks to transport an increased number of goods as fast as possible to the retailers and therefore the consumers. So what about 2022? Well, for that, let's go ahead and look at some charts. You guys know I love my charts. All right, let's first look at the Consumer Confidence Index, which measures how optimistic or pessimistic consumers are regarding their future financial situation. And this actually predicts their spending, of course. All right, so I'm actually gonna go right here. So as you can see here, this is 2014. I know you cannot see it. 2014, and then right here is where we are now. So you can see in red, this is the United States.
This is bad.
Yeah, this is definitely not a good indicator. And what it means, I actually drew a black line here so you guys can see. This is at 100. When the Consumer Confidence Index drops below this line, below 100, that means that they're pessimistic when it comes to the future of the economy. And of course, if consumers, as you can see right now, we are right here. I mean, look how low that is. So this means that consumers are so pessimistic that they will start saving their money instead of actually spending it. So to summarize this means that Americans are not very likely to spend much on holidays this year because they're afraid of the future. What is going to happen after the holidays? Will they have enough money to survive? Yeah, they're gonna start saving.
So what, the holidays are canceled this year, or?
Here's the thing, because of inflation, consumers are spending more for average goods. Because of the high fuel prices, and especially because OPEC just announced that they're cutting 2 million barrels of oil a day, consumers are really scared about that fuel. I mean, this is something they need to be able to commute. Fuel is a necessity. And if they have to start spending more and more and more on fuel, they have less and less and less to spend on things like Christmas presents. Another thing is inventory levels. Now, I'm sorry, I only have it until Q2 2022. There is no statistics or data released for Q3 yet, or Q4, of course. But this shows the percent change from Q2 2021 to Q2 2022, inventory levels and sales for each of the major retailers. So let's look at Walmart here. The inventory increased by 25.48% and the sales increased by 7.07%. Okay, not bad, at least the sales increased. Let's look at Amazon. Amazon also had an increase of inventory, but also an increase of sales. But look at those sales, they didn't increase that much. And then there are, okay, Home Depot is okay. Let's look at Walgreens. Their inventory increased by 2.24%. Since Q2 2021, but their sales decreased. Target increased inventory, small increase in sales. Lowe's increased inventory, decrease in sales. Okay, Best Buy had a decrease in both. But you can see that the inventory levels increased quite a bit, but the sales either decreased or increased by a minute amount. So why am I showing you all of this? Well, because I want you to understand. retailers place their orders in advance. And looking at the previous chart, the consumer confidence index, and considering the fact that their inventories are already bloated, retailers are not likely to place large orders to meet that consumer demand, which is pretty much down in the dumps. You have to understand, retailers are afraid of having to liquidate their inventory for cheaper prices, or worse yet, having to spend cash to warehouse that extra inventory that is not selling.
Basically, everyone is trying to save their butts.
Finally, there's the question of overcapacity in the market from all the people who jumped into the trucking industry because of the insane good conditions in 2021. So let's summarize. There are too many trucks on the market available to transport the limited amount of freight. Plus, retailers won't need a ton of goods transported because their inventories are full. Plus, consumers are not willing to spend as much right now. Well,
Yeah, crap storm.
so to answer the question of whether there will be a holiday peak season this year, well, yeah, there probably will. An extremely muted version of a holiday season.
Wait a minute, but what about food? It expires.
So this is actually an interesting point. Reefers during the holiday peak season do exceptionally well because of the increased demand for food. After all, these people have to feed all the relatives they just invited over for the holidays. Now, food cannot be held as inventory for a long period of time because, well, it expires. So I believe that if there is any improvement during the peak season, it will be felt most by reefer operators. I maintain my belief that reefers are the most recession-proof equipment out there. Yes, of course, spot rates can go up, down, sideways, backwards, but there will always be some sort of freight that needs transportation. People need medicine and people need food, and both of these commodities require a temperature-controlled trailer for transportation. Now, something I want to mention, California.
Again, California and its brilliantly idiotic ideas.
Yes, California decided to hand out $1,050 to its residents to battle inflation. I mean, this means that there is more money in the consumer's pocket to spend on holidays. But do you know what else it means? This wonderful check that is there to combat inflation increases inflation. Honestly, when I heard this, I was completely speechless. I was floored. And I have so many things I want to say on this topic, but I think it's better for me to keep my mouth shut because if I start, I will not stop. But to put it plainly, I am pissed. Anyway, I know that this was not a very optimistic video, but what can you do? We live in crazy times right now. The goal of this video is to help you be prepared for what is to come, because a lot of people in the trucking industry use this holiday season to make up for their losses during the year, but this is probably not going to be the case this year. Anyway, I hope you gained some insight from this video. I hope you learned something new. I'm wishing you guys an incredible rest of your week, and I'll see you all in the next video.